Awesome. Good afternoon, trading family. I hope you're doing great on this Friday, May the 2nd. We're going to get started here, and I'm going to spend the next 30 minutes with you talking about the importance of journaling trades and what information I put in my trade journals. I will tell you that I have been journaling every single trade that I take, whether it's a day trade, swing trade, long term type of position trade. Every trade has a journal. I'm old school. I like to journal on paper, but I have used digital journaling as well. And I use TradeViz for digital charts and just keeping track of my P&L and all of that, all of my trades. So that would be my go-to as far as digital trading journaling goes. But every trade that I've taken over the last almost 3 years has been journaled on paper. So I have quite the stack. All right, let's get started. What Why journal trades? These are the most important reasons I have found in journaling trades. It improves decision making by analyzing my past trades. It builds discipline and consistency. It allows me to identify my strengths as well as my weakness. It allows me to develop my edge with real data. And I love this quote by Peter Drucker: "You can't improve what you don't measure." So, what to record in a trade journal? I record the date and time of the trade, the instrument. For example, if I'm taking a swing trade on Apple, of course, in my journal, I need to make sure that I identify that it is a trade in Apple. I journal my entry and exit points, basically my entire trade plan, which consists of entries, profit targets, final targets, as well as stop loss. Then I want to make sure in my journaling that I put the reason for the trade. So, what was the setup that got me into the trade? What strategy was I using? Maybe what indicator got me into the trade? This one, number 5, is very important. I always note on my trade journal what my emotions or mindset was like when setting up this trade. We all have bad days, right? It might not have anything to do with your trades that you currently have on, but something outside of trading can cause you to have negative emotions or a negative mindset. Or maybe it's the opposite. You come into the day and you're feeling super happy, pumped up, excited, hyper, what have you. I want to make sure in my trade journals that I write down what my emotions or mindset were like at that particular time. Next is the outcome. So the profits, the loss, what percentage of my trade was profitable or a loss. So maybe I took a trade, for example, a recent trade on gold. Went long from a planned demand zone on yesterday that price pulled back to. And then today I was able to exit out of that trade for a 35% profit. So I journal both the percentage of profit as well as the dollar amount of profit. And, or if it were a losing trade, then of course the percentage of the loss as well as the dollar amount of the loss. And then number 7, very, very important, as I am going over my journal for that trade, I want to highlight any lessons that I might have learned during the trade. These can be lessons such as price continued to fall and dig deeper into the demand zone, and I needed to adjust my trim level or my profit target. It can be lessons learned of, hey, I got scared because I was listening to news or listening to other traders or the chat in the room or what have you, scared me out of my trade. So I exited before I planned to exit. Um, but any lessons that I learned during the trade, I want to make sure those are included in my journal and put stars beside them. And I will get into why I do that later on. Here are some patterns that I found through journaling my trades. I found by journaling my trades and reviewing my trading journals that I was winning more when I was focused on trading with the trend. So the trend for the day might be bullish. And if it's a day trade type of trade, then that's the trend that I want to focus on trading with. Whereas if I was looking at a weekly chart, the same exact ticker might have a bearish trend. But if it is a day trade, I want to focus on the trading with the trend for the length of time that I intend to be in the trade. Another pattern that I found through journaling is that I had a bad habit of over trading after a loss. Why? I think psychologically, I was trying to make up for the negative pullback in my P&L, and it was causing me to throw on trades that I hadn't pre-planned for, just doing a lot of silly mistakes. But through journaling, especially early on when I began this process about 3 years ago, I found that after taking a loss, I became a super aggressive over trader. And yeah, by doing by journaling that, I was able to recognize that and learn a lesson from it to put a sticky note on my computer that I look at every day that reminds me, after taking a loss, don't try to make up for it with the next trades that I'm putting on. Another pattern that I found through journaling is I had a bad habit of exiting too early on trades. I would just get excited because I was making money, and I would exit before price had gotten to a planned level for me to take my profits. And yeah, it was great. A winner is a winner, right? But I found through journaling that I was giving up more profits than I probably should have been. So I made a note for myself to be disciplined, be more disciplined in that, and exit my trades when they came into levels that warranted an exit rather than based on my emotions of being excited with the green trade. Journals tend to expose your subconscious habits. Think about that for a minute. You may be doing things in your trading that you're not even aware of. But if you spend a little bit of time journaling your trades and really being honest with your emotions around the trade, it can help you to expose those subconscious habits that you might not even know you have. All right, let's talk about digital journaling versus, like me, old school, writing it down on paper. As far as speed goes, with digital journaling, it's fast entries and it's searchable. So if you use the digital way of journaling, you can type in and search really quickly your journals about Apple or about SPX or SPY or whatever ticker that you're interested in and look back over your recent trades around that ticker, your recent journals about it. Paper journaling, it's slower, but it's tactile. So I am a hands on, I'm very, very much a tactile person and a tactile learner. And that's another reason why I tend to favor paper journaling. As far as analysis go, digital journaling gives you automated stats and charts. I mentioned TradesViz, which is the digital P&L tracker that I use, and it also has a great journaling tool in it. You can get these automated stats and charts. It's really cool because you can link it directly to your trading platform, your brokerage account, and so it will automatically load your trades in and all of that. Of course, it's not going to journal for you, but it does at least get all of your trades in there. You just need to go in and fill in that important information, such as your trading plan and your emotions around or during the trade. As far as paper journaling goes, related to analysis, it's manual but intuitive. So I find that by using paper journaling and actually writing it, touching it, um, reading it, the tactile, right, aspect of it. It helps me as far as my intuition goes for trades. It just works better for me. As far as portability goes, digital trading journals, you have access through the cloud. So whether you're sitting at your desk or you're away on vacation, you can access your journal without actually having to physically bring it with you. With paper journaling, it's on your desk, unless, of course, you choose to bring your journal with you, which whenever I'm traveling, I do bring my journal with me. All, who knows, 10,000 pages of it. Uh, it so digital journaling is best for your more tech savvy traders. So for instance, my husband is very much a tech guy. It's what he does for a living, and that's his career. And he would definitely prefer digital journaling or digital anything over paper writing it down himself. So if you also find yourself very tech savvy, you might prefer the digital journaling over paper journaling. And paper journaling is best in my opinion, your more reflective type personalities, old school, likes to write it down type of traders. Whichever way you choose to journal is that's not the important part of this. The important part is that you journal every trade to help become more disciplined and consistent as a trader. I've talked a lot about discipline. I believe that discipline is what sets apart your consistently profitable traders apart from your home run hitting traders that might, brag on X or what have you about these big, huge trades they have, but you never see a peep out of them about the big, huge losing trades they have. I believe that journaling will help build you into a more disciplined trader. Why does it build discipline? Because journaling forces you to justify your entries and exits. If that is part of your journal, then you have to justify. It's really justifying to yourself, right? Not justifying to me or your trading mentor, but justifying to yourself your entries and your exits. It also reduces impulsive decisions. And I talked about that with whenever I would experience a loss, I would tend to be very reactive and overtrade, trying to make up that negative PL. Knowing that you are going to journal every single trade, that will help reduce those impulsive decisions. Number three, it builds accountability. Builds accountability with yourself, or maybe you have a trading community. We have a great one here at Simpler, and maybe the mastery that you're a part of. If we hold each other accountable of becoming more disciplined traders, journaling builds that accountability. It also encourages you to review and grow in your trading. Treat your trading like a business, not a gamble. So important. Whenever I don't if you've started a business or you haven't, you work for a company, what have you, journaling your trades is part of building a business because it's showing that you have a plan, you have a process, you have a review. It's not just a gamble of throwing calls and puts on the board, but it is part of building a business rather than just gambling in your trading. Some pretty common mistakes to avoid. Have you ever felt like you are super excited about journaling your winning trades, but your losing trades, you're like, oh, God, do I have to really write that down on paper or type that into my digital journal? But let me tell you, I personally have learned more from my losing trades than I have from my winning trades. Okay. So make sure that whenever you commit to journaling all your trades, all means all, winners and losers. Another mistake to avoid is not reviewing your journal entries. It's not just about writing it down one time. I have a process, I have a very scheduled point of at the end of every week and at the end of every month, I go back and I review my journal entries. And then I make an entry at the end. So the end of the week and the end of the month, noting all of those key things that I found through journaling that week or that month's trades. Another mistake to avoid is being vague in your notes. You're writing this down to remind yourself of what your trade plan was, how well you executed according to the plan, what your emotions were. Um, Include the detail. All right. It's better to have too much detail than to be too vague. And don't overcomplicate the process. You don't have to have everything just perfect, right? Don't overcomplicate the process. Find a system that works for you. Find a time that you set aside to journal. Find a time that you set aside to review your journals and just do it over and over, which leads me to make it a habit. Now, after doing this for almost 3 years, it's a habit for me. It happens every day. I schedule 10 to 15 minutes daily for my journaling. I journal at the end of the trading day. Okay. I spend 10 to 15 minutes writing down in my journal all of my trades for that day. End of week, end of month reviews. I do both. I put in here you can do or. So end of week or end of month. I like to do both. So on Fridays after the market has closed or on Saturday mornings before the rest of the family wakes up, I review all of my trades for that week. And then at the end of each month, I also do that. That's when I pull my digital data of how my P&L looked for the month and my win percentage and things like that. Another cool thing that you can do is use color coding or tags for the trade types. So I trade different strategies depending on if it's a day trade or a swing trade or a position trade. I will use different pen colors because remember, I'm old school, so I'm writing this on paper. So my day trades are purple ink, and my swing trades are green ink, and my long term trades are blue ink. That helps me to easily look at just my day trades or just my swing trades, etc. If you're using a digital platform to journal, they also have color coding and tags where you can tag what type of trade or use a color code for the type of trade. So, what are my final thoughts? Journaling isn't just a log, it's your blueprint for mastery. Think about it. It's not, I don't want my journaling just to be something that I feel like I have to do. Rather, I like to think of it as a blueprint to master trading. All right. It's just one more step to help me become a master of my trading. Every trade holds a lesson. Journaling allows you to capture that lesson. So let's start today. Let's review often, and then we will always be evolving into a better, more disciplined trader. All right, guys, I'm going to open it up for Q&A. Any questions that you might have for me? I've got about 5 more minutes. I'd love to answer your questions or talk about different ways or different things that maybe you choose to put in your trading journals. Let me know if you are a trader that journals your trades and maybe you have some input that can be useful to other traders here in the room. So Toll asks, how do you keep yourself from repeating that mistake? I have the same problem. Toll, I believe I saw your question come up whenever I was talking about getting out of my trades too early. Was that what the question that you had, the mistake that I repeat? I'll wait for Toll to answer because I missed exactly when his or her question came up. FJ asked, which trading journal do you use? I actually use a paper trading journal, FJ. If I, and I have just so that I would be familiar with digital journaling. And when I was digital journaling, I used TradesViz. So TradesViz.com. All right. And I can share a link for the Adobe, and you can print it out if you're interested in the trading journal that I use. I'll share it here in chat after my session is over. Trendy John, who I trade with here at Simpler in the Trendy Trading Room, his wife actually created this journal for us, and we give it out for free to our members. So I will share it in here with you as well. David says, fantastic lesson. Thanks. David, it's my pleasure. There is nothing I would rather do than to help other traders become more disciplined, and any tools that I can share that accomplishes that, I am happy to do so. And yes, FJ, all sessions at Simpler are recorded so that you can go back and review them. You'll find it in the on the dashboard for the Simpler Essentials rooms. Just look in the archive videos and you will find this recording. All right, guys, I think I made it through all the questions. Like I said, I would be happy to share the paper form that I use to journal my trades in the chat with all of you. Doc says, great session, Melissa. Have made so many similar mistakes that you mentioned and have benefited from your discussions. Awesome, Doc, and you're welcome. Yeah, April, you're welcome as well. All right, fam, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And look, if no one has told you today, I want to tell you that you're valuable, you're loved, you're important, and we certainly appreciate you being a part of the Simpler Trading family. I'm super excited to continue building ourselves to become better, more disciplined traders. All right. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. Much love, fam.